Student Yayi Nikos protested at Webster's Diversity and Inclusion Conference on Tuesday, March 1st.
At the start of the event, I walked to the front of the podium and I stood there holding the sign, and it says Black Trans Voices Matter.
Nikos interrupted guest speaker Julia Serrano. Serrano is a transgender writer and activist.
I give a number of different types of talk about gender.
And I stood in front to get the speaker to acknowledge my presence, and it took her 3 to 5 minutes just to acknowledge me. She told me that she would only be talking about gender issues, but as we know, as students, we know that you cannot have a discussion around gender without an analysis of class, race, and power. If you're having a discussion just around gender, you're going to be upholding white supremacy, you're going to be upholding racism, and it's not going to be a critical conversation, which is what this whole panel is supposed to be about.
Nikos said it's problematic to have an event not focusing on students.
This whole event, right, should be centered around the voices of oppressed students. If we're talking about trans issues, there are Black trans students on campus. Our voices matter. Black students on campus matter.
Serrano promised to engage the matter at the end of her speech.
I'll talk about that at the end of the discussion. Is that fine?
An audience member asked Nikos to sit down. Nikos walked outside with Nicole Roach. Roach is the vice president for diversity and inclusion on campus. They agreed on future collaborations.
This is a disaster. It's not right.
Okay, and you said you will help me moving forward. All right?
Nikos stepped back inside after Serrano invited students to share their experiences. Nikos said the administration should have planned the event with the help of students.
Came to the students, right, to talk to us to see who we wanted to be here. We would have had someone who knows about intersectionality. We would have had someone who would have stood up for me and not allowed someone to tell me to sit down and misgender me and be complicit in that kind of violence. But see, the administration does not care about students.
A member of the audience asked Nikos for a call of action.
My question wasn't what are the issues. We can see some of the issues. We've been presented with some of the issues, and you continue to present us with issues, which is great. We have to know the issues before we can do much else. But what can we do now? That was my question.
We have a list of demands that we've given the institution 2 years. I'm representing the Association for African American Collegians. Around 2 years ago, inspired by everything that was going on in Ferguson, we decided to come together and figure out what was wrong with our campus. We decided to take advantage of the delegates' agenda and create an African American Studies program. And that fell through. The administration told us that that would not be possible. We continue to organize around efforts to bring race and class and power to the forefront around structural oppression at Webster. And so here we are now, still organizing, still trying to get our demands met.
For the Webster Journal, this is Sara Bannoura.